this video, we're on an adventure to find an old reservoir, and it's one that I never even knew existed. And I'm able to get here with the help of a few viewers who brought it to my awareness. And it's actually a pretty special and important location because it's the source of the secret oasis swimming hole that I found. And we're able to see what the water looks like, where it's coming from, and maybe even see beneath the surface. So I invite you to come along with me for a brand new adventure. After many wrong turns, I think I'm in the vicinity. Actually, don't even know. Jesus Christ. Having a little trouble locating it. There's trails going off in all different directions and everywhere but towards the reservoir. So we're going to send up Jayhawk and hopefully get an idea where it's at and where I need to go. All right, I'm back. So this is turning out to be more difficult than I imagined. Although it looked pretty easy on Google Maps, yet again I was deceived. So it turns out, after flying the drone, that it's down there somewhere. I can hear the water, it's out on the drone, I am within earshot of it. So the bike got me as far as I could go. It is locked up against the tree here. And I now need to take this unbeaten path down the slope side, and it should bring us to the water. Now the one thing I did see is that it's going to bring us to a side that may or may not potentially be crossable, because I at least want to get to the spillway to share that with you, which means we may have to get wet. I can't go swimming, but I can at least get my feet wet if I have to. So let me do what I have to do to get down here. Once we get closer, I'll bring you back aboard. Well, it turns out I was closer than I realized. So somewhere right up there, maybe 100 feet is where I was flying the drone from. And I followed that unbeaten path, which is still going. It would have been too rough for the bike, so definitely have to do it on foot. But right down there, I'm starting to see some water. That's the very back edge of the water. So looks like the main part of the body of water should be right up here as it's revealing itself right before our very eyes. Yeah, we arrived. All right, I call that a success. Now to safely get down there. So as oh wow. I think there's like a big crane or heron. Probably had like a 5-foot wingspan. So as I mentioned, there is water along the edge here. Spillway is up around the bend here. So I'm hoping there's like a shallow area or something. Water looks kind of cloudy and murky. That I can't really understand because the last time I was at the Oasis, the water is also cloudy and murky. We haven't had rain in over a week. Honestly, it should be clear. So something is causing it to be stirred up, whether upstream from the other source or something natural. I don't know. Maybe we'll find that out. All right, enough yammering. Let's get down there and check it out. That water is so cloudy. It's one thing I don't like. I love water. I love swimming. I love exploring underwater. But my one pet peeve, I guess you could say, is cloudy water because you can't see what's beneath you. It makes it kind of eerie and creepy. I like knowing what I'm getting into, so unfortunate, it's not the best conditions. And all right, we are closer than I thought. Here's a spillway here. Looks like remnants of a pump or valve house. Where it's shallower here, I could definitely see into the water. I do have my 7-foot long extendable pole, so we'll see if we can get some underwater footage, as I mentioned earlier. This is going to be rather difficult to get to. It's kind of straight right here. The water is not, I don't want to get into it right here. Although it is clearer, I could see the bottom. It just doesn't look very inviting right now. Just so I don't have any mishaps, I'm going to put you guys down for a second. I'm going to try my best to get my way along the edge here. And my plan is to walk across the spillway to at least get to the other side. That's the plan. We'll see what happens. Not sure if he's showing up on camera. There's a huge turtle swimming into the deeper part. I think I just missed him on camera, but he left from this area and went up that way. Boy, he was huge. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not going in the water. If it's a snapping turtle, that won't be fun. That was not fun. Trying to walk on a near vertical face where there's thorns and holes and all kinds of crap. With the fear of falling into the water, that made it more excruciating than it had to be. But I have reached this corner stone here, and we're at the spillway. So there's a couple things I'm noticing, which is not really good news, but it's not surprising either. It's coming through on camera. You see this layer here? It's almost orange. And it's right along the spillway there. That is acidic water that is somewhere spilling into this. And it could be one of two things or both. It could either be what is known as AMD, acid mine drainage, which means when the mines shut down, they fill up with water, and water basically is eating away at the rocks that has iron mixed into it, and also coal and whatever else is in the mines, and it ends up coming up underground through a source somewhere. Or else it could just be pure iron mixed in with the stone. It could be a very rich ore area, and there's a lot of iron. It could also come out as rust colored water. Without having a kit to test it, we just have to decide on our own, or speculate on our own. I'm guessing it's probably both, probably AMD and iron discharge from rocks. All right, I need to get down here. My only concern is I hope I can get out of here when I need to, because I'm about 6 feet up on top of here. I have to walk across to get over there, and I definitely don't want to swim in the water, so I may have to take the long way out of here. All right, down on spillway here. Let's take a walk across. All right, let's walk across together. One thing I can tell you, which is actually a good sign, is that there's a lot of wildlife. We already saw a turtle, and as I've been walking by, I've been seeing little schools of guppies and even some medium-sized fish. I'm hoping to capture them when I get you guys underwater. But right here, it's fairly deep. I can see the bottom, but it's probably up to my chest, so it's probably about 5 feet deep, maybe closer to 6. One thing I have to be on the lookout for is snakes, any water snakes. So down bottom, it's a nice pool area where the water is collecting. It's spilling off on the sides, and the neat thing is that it's not coming over the top. It's coming through the cracks and coming out part way down. There's some type of fishing lure of sorts, so people at least have gone fishing here. And as we look further downstream, it looks incredible. So this is the source of water that leads to the secret oasis further down. But in between here and there, it looks like some incredible landscape. And we may be traversing from the oasis up to here in a future video if things work out, but that is something I plan on doing, hope to do this year, to be able to just walk upstream and show you all the neat little geological features, hidden pools, cascading falls. I'm not sure how high this is. If I was to guesstimate, which is often wrong, but a lot of times I'm right, I'd say about 60 feet to the water. The water looks fairly deep. I don't think it's deep enough to jump into. Not that I'd ever try it. There's also some pipes down there too. And that is another indication that we're at the right place, because down at the Hidden Oasis, we saw that pipe. And my early speculation when I first discovered that, I'm like, I bet that's coming from a reservoir. Sure enough, there it is. So that one is discharging right here. That one flows all the way down to the Hidden Oasis and beyond. So it's kind of neat that we're seeing, you know, one area and another area, and you know, there's connection in between. There's water and the pipe that connects these two locations. Oh, okay. There's actually steps over there. This is going to be pretty neat to check out. And here is a look at the water. I'm going to come back here in a few minutes, and we're gonna stick you guys under on the extendable 7-foot pole, and I think we're going to get some underwater wildlife. There's definitely fish here. Maybe something in the depths lurking down there that may surprise us. And I may even be able to walk out here onto the stone and give you some more views. I just don't know how soft. Well, let's find out right now. Let's see how soft this is. It's a sandy, silty bottom. Okay, I'm not sinking much at all. Maybe an inch or two. So I think I could probably walk out there in just a little bit. But let's explore the structures first and wave to the passengers. Okay, let's get up here and explore. It's kind of neat to see where we started from. We came down the slope side there behind those trees, and then I walked the edge, or traversed the edge to that stone block, crossed over, and now we're up on top of this one. Ooh, that looks rather eerie. Huh. I thought this was a pumper valve house. It's almost like a chamber. There's water in there, and I could see the bottom, but it could be plugged up with silt. There's some rebar sticking out. I also see some channels on both sides. So if you see right there and right there, those notches, looks like there may have been like a door or something sliding. I wonder if there's a pipe. Almost reminds me of like a lock, a canal lock. But nice reflection shot there anyways. If you guys have any insight as to what this was used for, feel free to share, but it definitely looks like there would have been some type of wall or gate or something that was inside those notches. But there's definitely water in there. Here's the back side of it. It's completely made out of stone, and it's mortared together with concrete. Huh. So we have metal steps and a gate up there, which is locked. Let's check it out. Well, at least these are not going anywhere. Oh, I'm saying, so somebody ripped open the gate. I'm on one side of the fence, now I'm on the other side. I mean, the chain's rusty, the locks have a protective coating, but I mean, it doesn't look like an old rusty fence. So this fence was probably put here sometime in the last 10 years. There's even barbed wire on it. But it's only for it's like a 10-foot span of it there, and maybe a 20-foot span of it here. But you can walk right around it. And I'm going to share my thoughts on as to why I think it was built and why I think it's now decommissioned and kind of abandoned. So I'm going to get in the water here. I'm going to walk right on top of these rocks, which will give us another unique perspective of things. And the water level isn't even high right now to have any concern for currents or anything like that. I could imagine after it rains, oh, there's like a stream flowing in. That might be the source. We'll have to investigate that. That might be the source coming into here, at least one of them. But yeah, there's no cause for concern with danger today, especially with the lack of rain we've had. So there are a couple things I can point out, and these are just my thoughts about the dam and also about the pipe. So regarding the pipe, I've seen it at other reservoirs. The way it works is when this was an active reservoir, if they want to do one of two things, which is either lower the water level to work on the dam, they could open up a valve somewhere, which typically they have a valve house, and there's a pipe usually somewhere in the deep area and it has like a grate in front of it, and they can open it and lets water out through the pipe and discharges down below. And what that does is it lowers the water in the reservoir itself. And again, that is used for when they want to do dam repair, stuff of the sorts. The other thing too, which we've seen with the other pipe that's flowing all the way down to the Oasis and beyond, they're using that pipe to take water from here and to take it to a specific area, somewhere where the water's not going naturally. So there is at least one, if not two pipes somewhere in this water, whether it's down here or farther back. And what I've discovered is that one that's going down to the Oasis has water flowing through it. It's always cold, there's condensation, it's like sweating on hot days, and there's water coming out of here down that pipe continuously. But there's no one here now to do anything of the sort, to close the valves, to change it around, to stop the water. So it's just going to maintain this natural state for years to come. I'm sure when it rains, it might raise an inch or two, but it's just going to spill over and keep the level where it's at. As for this reservoir, I think I know why it was constructed, and it kind of ties into this whole area and things we've been discovering recently on my adventures in this area, and that is for coal mine operations. I'm pretty certain this was constructed sometime when a mine was opening and they needed water for whatever it was, you know, whether for the wash house, for transporting it, for anything, but I'm pretty safe to say it had something to do with the coal mine operation. And when the mine shut down, they no longer needed to use this water or this reservoir. So essentially it becomes decommissioned, and then kind of how it is now, almost abandoned. That's because, you know, the mine shut down primarily in the 50s and 60s. So we're looking at 60, 70 years that the mines have been closed, and this has probably been this way since that time, I'd imagine. Let's get over to this little island here. Now again, those are just my thoughts. I could be totally off, but that's what my mind is telling me based on what I've seen in the area. So we got a shallow bar here, and then it goes pretty deep over there. Cannot see the bottom. Oh, here's maybe a source of the rust color. Yep, I think I found one of the sources. So if you look, now look at this area here, it's natural colored. And then when we come down to here, there's a pocket of orange, and that's wet right there. That is coming up from underground. And that is staining everything here, this orange rust color. And you can even see it in the dirt here. The dirt is orange and just spilling into it. So that is one of the sources of the orange tinted water, which again could be iron underneath, or it could be coming from an abandoned mine that's flooded, or both. But those are easy to spot. You see them a lot along different rivers like the Lackawanna, Susquehanna River, different areas where there's just an orange streak and it just stains everything in its path. This is a nice area though. I don't like the cloudiness. It does make it kind of eerie and creepy, but aside from that, it's peaceful. It's rather remote. And there's obviously people been down here dumping. But if you look past that, it's a nice spot. But you know what? Enough walking and talking. Let's get some underwater footage. I'm gonna go somewhere on one of these two islands here, and we'll stick the pole under, and then we'll head over to the spillway and check that area too, because I think we're gonna capture some wildlife, and we got sun shining right down on us here, so at least it's gonna give us the best possible conditions for what we have today. Well, we got the footage that I want to get, but I also saw something I didn't want to see, and I showed it on camera. It's a snake skin right there. Not a huge one, but it's still there, which means there's definitely snakes in the area. Thankfully, none of them came looking for me, and wherever they are, I hope they stay there. But what I think we should do before we end up leaving this area is walking upstream a little bit here to see what this source looks like. I can't confirm or deny if there is another source coming from back there, but there's definitely water flowing towards us from that direction. So since we're here and since I'm curious, let's take a little walk up there and check it out. And one thing I can tell you is this source of water is cleaner and colder. I don't see any orange, and the water looks really clear. Now, as we saw, not only in person here, but on the underwater footage, there's wildlife teeming in the water. Turtles, fish, snakes here. So the water, although it has some, rusting entering into it, it's not completely unsafe. This, though, right here is a pure freshwater stream, and I think I know where this is coming from. I was tracing the source of the water on the maps that leads to here. And this actually snakes through a long way up a mountain to an active reservoir. As far as I could tell, it's maintained, it's watched, it's An area I'm not going to go to just because of the reasons I just stated. But I'm pretty certain this water is coming from there, which means that it is really clean water. That reservoir may even be for drinking as well. I know I've said in the past crystal clear water, mainly because I get excited, but I think we can confirm this is crystal clear. No haziness, no murkiness, no nothing. That's looking about 3 feet down right there. So this is a beautiful, beautiful freshwater stream. And right here where I'm walking on bedrock, and there's some fish. Let's see if we can get them on camera. There, you can see them now. I don't know what kind of fish they are. They're too small. It's only about 3-4 feet away from me, and there's a little school of them right there. I know the reflection's killing it, but trust me when I say there's about a dozen little fish right here. Looking further upstream, there's actually a downed tree, and it looks like it's saw cut. It actually looks like an intentional cut. And one thing you could tell here, this area does get flooded. All this here gets underwater after some torrential rains. Or if they were to release water from the reservoir miles up the mountain. But right now it's just a peaceful, tranquil, flowing stream. And it is absolutely beautiful and refreshing at the same time. Well, everyone, I think I am going to attempt to make my way out of here. I think it's going to be much harder to leave than it was to come in, because I either have to climb up that block that I jumped off of or walk all the way around the reservoir. Either of which is not going to be fun, but I'm not going to drag you along. I'll do it myself. With that being said, I just want to first thank you for stopping by to check out the video. I thoroughly and passionately love doing these adventures and exploring. And I definitely want to give a special shout out to the viewers, I think there was 2 of them, that did tell me about this location. And they said, you know what, you need to see it in person. I know you'll like it. And I definitely do. It's an incredible spot. A little harder to get to than I thought, but it was worth the effort and it paid off. And what I'm standing in right now is a beautiful flowing stream that glad to see that this is the source of the water and that the other stuff that we saw is only minuscule. But as I mentioned, you may see me in the future coming upstream from the oasis, traversing all the way to the reservoir here. And again, this has been decommissioned, abandoned for a long time. There's no one watching it. Fence has been ripped open. There's garbage here. There's fishing lures. So I'm not the first one here. I won't be the last one, but I was here just to document it and share it with you guys, because I like being able to kind of connect the dots of places we've been, places we're going to, and see how they're related to each other. Anyways, guys, hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Stay safe. And if you have nothing else to do, feel free to watch another adventure. Until next time, everyone, thanks for watching, and I'll see you real soon in the next video.